Grammar presentation. The imperative. The imperative, like the indicative and the subjunctive, is a mood. Affirmative imperatives. The imperative is the infinitive of the verb without to. Example: to stop, stop. We use the imperative to give instructions, orders, and commands. Examples: come here, sit down. The sentence can end with an exclamation point. For example, close that door. We can make the imperative less strong by using please. Example: please turn to page 33 of your book. Unlike Spanish, the imperative does not change depending on if you are speaking to one or more people. Examples: say hello to the new teacher, class, talking to several students. Help your father with dinner, Daisy, talking to one girl. It also does not change if you are talking to a boss, stranger, or a friend. It is always the same form of the infinitive without to. Example: call the vice president when you finish the meeting, sir. The imperative is usually the first word of the sentence or clause. An exception to this is when we use please, always, or never before the imperative. Examples: tell me what book you are reading. After you finish reading that chapter, go to sleep. When we use imperative, we do not name the person we are talking to. The implication is that we are talking to you. We never say you before using the imperative. Example: do your homework. Never say you. You can say the person's name before the imperative, but it must be followed by a pause. In writing, use a comma. Example: Jimmy, tell me what book you are reading. You can also say the person's name at the end of the sentence. Example: do your homework, Cindy. Negative sentences. We can also use imperatives to prohibit or instruct not to do an action. We form the negative imperative with the auxiliary phrase do not before the infinitive without to. Example: do not enter. In conversation and informal writing, we can use the contraction don't. Example: don't listen to that radio station. It's terrible. It is possible to use don't as a negative imperative when the action is obvious. Example: Ian takes an apple and opens his mouth to eat it. Don't! That apple is for Dad. The imperative don't is an abbreviation of don't eat that apple. Imperatives and modal verbs. In situations where we want to be polite, we use modal verbs to ask for things. Examples: give me a room for 2 nights. May I have a room for 2 nights? Help me with my bags, please. Could you help me with my bags, please? Directions. One of the most important times to use the imperative is when you give directions. For example, excuse me, how can I get to the hospital from here? The hospital, okay. Go straight for 3 blocks. At the traffic light, turn right. Continue on that street for 3 blocks. In the roundabout, take the third left. Go past the chemist's. It's on your right. You can't miss it.